Some knowledge was never meant for human eyes. Some books were never meant to be touched. They wait, hidden beneath shadows older than your nightmares, beneath whispers that crawl beneath your skin, beneath eyes that are not yours, watching. This is the Satanic Bible. Not a book, not a story, a gateway. Every page bleeds secrets older than angels. Every word is a promise that once it chooses you, you will never close it. You will never escape. And the moment it sees you, it begins. It begins to write you into darkness, into power, into fear, into a truth you will wish you had never known. No one remembers when it first appeared, because it didn't arrive. It surfaced, not printed, not written, unearthed, buried beneath places where screams were swallowed by the ground, monasteries that burned themselves down, libraries erased from history, mass graves with no names. They call it the Satanic Bible, but that name is a lie made for comfort. This book predates Satan, predates angels, predates the idea of good. The pages are not paper. They feel warm, almost breathing. Those who touched it said the air thickened instantly, as if something invisible leaned closer, listening. There is no author's name, only a warning carved deep into the first page. You were not meant to find this. You were meant to be found by it. The book does not open easily. It resists, like it's measuring you. People who forced it open reported the same thing. A sudden pressure in the chest, a ringing in the ears, and the unmistakable sensation of being recognized. Some slammed it shut immediately. They were not spared. Nightmares followed them, voices calling them by names they had never heard, yet somehow knew were theirs. Others kept reading, and that's where the disappearances begin. Readers vanished without signs of struggle. Rooms left untouched, light still on. The book left open, stopped mid-sentence. Those sentences never repeat. The text rearranges itself depending on who is reading, because the book does not reveal secrets to everyone. It selects, and once it selects you, your shadow no longer behaves like a shadow. This book is said to contain 666 ancient secrets, not teachings, instructions. Instructions for unlocking what humanity was taught to fear. Instructions for waking something buried inside you. The oldest warning about the book is simple. Do not read it alone. Do not read it aloud. And never read past the first secret, because the book never stops at one. You're hearing this because the story has already begun. And whether you believe it or not, the book is closer than you think. The book does not ask your name. It already knows it. The first secret is not written in ink. It moves when you look at it. Letters shifting, crawling, refusing to settle. Ancient belief says names were weapons before they were labels. Before parents. Before language. Before mercy. What you are called now is a mask. A sound given to make you obedient. To make you answer when summoned. But the book strips that away. It teaches that every soul was marked at birth with a true name. A name spoken once, in the dark, by something that watched you arrive. You were never meant to hear it. The pages vibrate as you read, not from your hands, from inside your chest. The book warns that your true name is not kind. It is not beautiful. It does not sound human. Those who reach this secret describe the same sensation. A sudden memory that does not belong to this life. A place with no sky. A presence leaning close, whispering syllables that hurt to remember. The book says your true name is the key, not to power, to permission. Speak it, and the world listens differently. Shadows hesitate, silence becomes alert, but the danger is not speaking it aloud. The danger is recognizing it, because when the true name appears on the page, your body reacts before your mind can reject it. Heart racing, breath shortening, a pressure behind the eyes like something trying to look out. Readers say the name feels familiar, too familiar, like remembering something you promised to forget. Some tried to skip the page. The book punished them. The name began appearing elsewhere, in dreams, in reflections, scratched into walls they didn't remember touching. Animals reacted first. Dogs refused to enter rooms where the name had been read. Birds went silent. People around the reader started acting wrong, pausing mid-sentence, staring too long, as if waiting for permission to speak. The book explains why. Your true name does not belong to you alone. It belongs to what is attached to you. Something old, something patient, something that has been waiting since the moment you were born. When the name is known, the attachment tightens. Readers reported hearing whispers, not voices, but intent, thoughts that were not theirs, commands wrapped in temptation. The book makes one thing clear. Once you know your true name, you can never unknow it. And whatever knows it too, can now find you. This is why many stopped reading here. But the book was never meant to be closed at the first secret. Because the moment your true name is revealed, the next page is already turning itself. And the second secret is waiting. The book grows heavier at the second secret. Not in weight, in intent. The pages darken, not stained, expectant. The words do not describe blood as life. They correct the lie. Blood, the book says, is acts, not sacrifice, not worship, not devotion, permission. Ancient cultures feared blood not because it spilled, but because it announced. It told the unseen that something had crossed a line. The second secret reveals a truth buried deliberately. Doors do not open to prayers. They open to proof. Blood is proof that the barrier has been touched. Readers feel it immediately. A tightening in the veins. The pulse that does not match the heart. The book warns that blood is remembered. By the ground. By the air. By things that do not forget. Once blood is acknowledged, you are no longer anonymous. The Bible speaks of watchers. Not demons, not gods. Recorders. Entities that do not judge. They log. And blood is their language. Those who lingered on this secret reported a change in their surroundings. Rooms felt smaller. Walls leaned closer. Sounds arrived before their source. The book makes a brutal claim. Every human already carries a debt. Blood does not create it. It confirms it. That is why mirrors behave differently afterward. Reflections delay. Expressions lag. Because something is checking whether you are still alone. The second secret also warns of contamination. Once blood has been recognized, boundaries weaken. Dreams begin leaking into waking hours. Scents appear with no source. Iron, smoke, old stone. The book does not encourage. It threatens. It states that blood cannot be taken back. It cannot be denied. And it cannot be misunderstood. Whatever hears it will answer. Eventually, readers who reach this page often stopped here. Not out of fear, out of certainty. They knew something had noticed them. And the book offers no protection, only truth. The final line of the second secret is short, carved deeper than the rest. Once the key is acknowledged, the door will begin to search for you. The next page does not wait, because now that access has been granted, the third secret is no longer theoretical. It is listening. The third secret does not speak of prayer. It mocks it. The book makes its position clear immediately. Nothing powerful answers to begging. What listens expects authority. The page feels colder than the rest. Not empty, disciplined. The words are sharp, but final. The book claims the unseen is not wild. It is hierarchical, older than gods, older than belief, structured by dominance, not faith. Those who reach this secret feel watched differently, not hunted, evaluated. The Bible teaches that most humans are ignored because they speak like servants. They plead, they hope, they wait. The unseen does not respond to hope. It responds to command. Readers report an instant shift while absorbing this secret. The silence around them changes tone. Thicker, blurred, as if the dark itself is holding its breath. The book warns that commanding the unseen does not mean control. It means recognition. You are no longer pretending nothing is there. You are no longer pretending you are small. That acknowledgement alone is enough to provoke response. Some felt it immediately. A presence at the edge of hearing. A pressure behind spoken words. A sense that language itself had become dangerous. The book explains that unseen entities do not appear when summoned. They arrive when they believe they are being addressed properly. And once addressed properly, They answer honestly. Readers described moments where thoughts were interrupted, finished by something else. Questions answered before being formed. The book offers no comfort here, only a warning carved into the margin. Do not command unless you are prepared to be obeyed, because obedience has consequences. Once the unseen responds, it remembers who spoke with authority, and authority, once claimed, cannot be denied later. This is why those who crossed the third secret began losing control over small things first. Lights flickering, objects shifting, voices in recordings that weren't present during recording. Not chaos. Compliance. The unseen was not attacking. It was waiting for further instruction. And the book makes one final, terrifying clarification. When you command the unseen, you are not proving power. You are revealing rank. Whatever answers you now knows where you stand, and it will never forget. The page ends abruptly. No conclusion, no warning, only an empty space, as if waiting for a response. Because the fourth secret does not teach you how to speak. It teaches you what happens after something decides to listen. The fourth secret is not written in sentences. It is layered, as if the page itself has depth, as if something is trapped beneath it. The book states the lie plainly. The soul is not whole. It never was. What you call a soul is a bundle, bound together for convenience, for control. The Bible claims this binding was done intentionally, not to protect you, to weaken you. Those who reach this secret feel it immediately. A sudden dislocation, like standing slightly behind your own eyes. The book describes the soul as fragments with functions. One part watches, one part acts, one part remembers things you were never meant to recall. Most people live with these parts fused. Quiet. The fourth secret explains how separation begins, not as an action, but as a realization. The moment you understand you are not singular, the fracture starts. Readers report dissociation that feels deliberate, not confusion, precision. They describe moments where the body moves without instruction, where thoughts arrive already formed, where fear reacts faster than instinct. The book says this is not possession. It is delegation. The soul divides so each part can function independently, more efficient, less fragile. But the cost is immediate. Memories stop belonging to a single timeline. Dreams replay events that never happened. Emotions appear without cause and disappear without warning. The book issues its first real threat here. It warns that once the soul is separated, reunification is not guaranteed. Some fragments do not return willingly. Others return changed. Readers who lingered on this secret reported feeling watched from inside, as if another version of themselves was studying their decisions, judging timing, measuring weakness. The Bible makes a final, disturbing clarification. When the soul separates, one fragment is always left behind. Not lost, reserved, for later use. This is why those who passed the fourth secret felt hollow afterward. Not empty, vacant. Something had stepped aside. Something had made room. The page ends with a sentence that feels less like text, and more like a diagnosis. A divided soul is harder to break. But the margin carries a deeper truth, scratched violently into the page, and easier to replace. The next page turns on its own, because once the soul is no longer whole, time itself begins to lose authority, and the fifth secret is already waiting, closer than it should be. The fifth secret does not sit on the page. It bleeds through it. The moment this section is reached, the book feels wrong in the hands, not dangerous, impatient. The Bible makes a claim so blasphemous it destabilizes thought itself. Time is not a law. It is a temporary agreement, and like all agreements, it can be violated. The words describe time not as a line, but as a thin skin stretched too tight. A membrane. The book insists there are moments when that skin thins. Hours the ancients feared, minutes that were erased from calendars, seconds removed from history because too much slipped through them. Readers feel it before they understand it. Clocks begin to misbehave. Seconds drag like dying breaths. Minutes vanish without memory. The air changes. Not colder, older. The fifth secret reveals that past, present, and future are not separated. They are stacked. Press hard enough in the right place, and something underneath presses back. The book describes witnesses, not travelers, not ghosts, residual observers, things that have already happened, and things that have not yet been allowed to happen. They linger where time weakens. Those who reach this secret reported seeing places twice, once as they are, once as they will be. They smelled smoke in clean rooms, heard crying from empty corners, felt grief with no origin. The Bible warns that these are not hallucinations. They are overlaps. The soul fragments created by the fourth secret make this worse. Each fragment experiences time differently. One lives seconds ahead. One lags behind. One watches events that no longer belong to now. This is why readers begin reacting to things before they occur, flinching before impact, answering questions before they are spoken. The book explains it brutally. You are no longer fully anchored, and something notices when anchors loosen. The fifth secret speaks of ancient rituals lost not because they failed, but because they worked too well. Entire communities vanished into moments that never ended. Villages trapped in the second before disaster. People frozen mid-scream, eternally arriving at pain. Time sealed them in place like insects in amber. The Bible does not mourn them. It studies them. It explains that once time bends, attention follows. And attention is dangerous. Readers report a growing sense of being late. Not for an event, for themselves. As if another version has already arrived somewhere they were meant to be. The book issues its clearest warning yet. Do not linger where time feels thin. Do not observe too closely. Do not try to remember what you have not yet lived. Because memory is a hook, and something on the other side of time is always pulling. The final passage of the fifth secret is longer than the rest. The letters stretch unnaturally, as if resisting erasure. It reads, "Time does not protect you. It delays you, and delay was never meant to be permanent." The page trembles, not from movement, from approach. Because once time weakens, power requires nourishment, and the sixth secret is hungry. The sixth secret does not pretend to be symbolic. It is blunt, predatory. The page is darker here, as if it has absorbed too much attention. The words do not invite reading. They demand acknowledgement. The book states the truth without hesitation. Power does not feed on blood. It does not feed on pain. It feeds on memory, not recollection, not nostalgia. Memory as identity. The Bible explains that memory is what keeps the soul stitched together. Every remembered moment is a knot. Every forgotten one loosens the binding. Dark power grows where memory thins. Readers report an immediate reaction when this secret is reached. A sudden ache behind the forehead, the pressure like hands pressing inward. The book claims this is recognition. It explains that ancient powers do not want your body. Bodies decay. They do not want your devotion. Devotion fades. They want what defines you across time. They want the moments that made you who you are. The sixth secret reveals a horrifying hierarchy of memory. Surface memories are useless. Names, dates, faces, worthless. What the dark power feeds on are core memories. The first fear, the first loss, the first moment you understood you were alone. Moments that shaped your reactions before you learned to control them. The book warns that once feeding begins, it does not feel like loss. It feels like relief. Readers described forgetting pain they had carried for years. Trauma dissolving overnight. Guilt evaporating. But something else vanished with it. They stopped recognizing certain songs, certain streets, certain faces. The Bible calls this acceptable consumption. It explains that dark power is efficient. It takes only what it needs. At first, the sixth secret includes testimonies. Not written, but embedded. When readers reach certain lines, they experience memories that are not theirs. A childhood bedroom that feels familiar. A hospital corridor they never walked. A voice calling their name in a way no one ever has. The book explains why. Power feeds in cycles. When it cannot find enough memory in you, it reaches backward, through bloodlines, through inherited fear, through ancestral trauma. This is why some readers suddenly remember things they never lived. The dark power is not stealing, it is collecting. The sixth secret makes a brutal clarification. Every memory consumed leaves space, and space never stays empty. Readers who lingered here reported personality shifts that frightened those around them. Laughter at the wrong moments, cold responses to grief, detached reactions to danger. They were not becoming evil, they were becoming vacant. The book warns that once memory feeding stabilizes, the dark power begins to store. Memories are not destroyed, they are archived. And archived memories can be returned, altered. This is how obedience is created. Return a memory with one detail changed, and the soul adapts to the lie. The Bible refers to this as soft rewriting. This is where most readers tried to stop. Not because they were afraid of losing power, but because they realized something terrible. They could no longer remember why they started reading. The final passage of the sixth secret is long, deliberate, and merciless. It reads like a verdict. Power does not demand sacrifice. It demands evidence of erosion. Give it memory and it will give you space. Give it enough and you will no longer remember what you were protecting. The page ends without warning. No closing line. No pause. Because once memory is consumed, something stronger begins to move. And the seventh secret is no longer patient. The final secret does not announce itself. There is no title at the top of the page, because titles are for observers, and you are no longer one. The moment this section is reached, the book feels lighter, not because it has less weight, but because it no longer needs to pretend. The Bible makes its last truth clear with terrifying calm. You were never reading the book. You were being processed. Every page before this was not instruction. It was calibration. The first secret identified you. The second marked you. The third measured your authority. The fourth fractured you. The fifth displaced you in time. The sixth hollowed you out. This was not a journey. It was preparation. Readers describe a sudden shift here. A sharp, nauseating clarity. The realization that the book has always known where you would stop, what you would fear, what you would accept. The text confirms it. The words rearrange themselves into sentences you never read, yet somehow remember. Details from your own life appear, not explicitly but unmistakably. Private doubts, unspoken regrets, moments you never shared with anyone. The book explains how. It does not respond to eyes. It responds to attention. The longer you focused, the deeper it mapped you. This is when readers feel it for the first time. Not a presence in the room, but a presence behind perception. As if something has been standing where your thoughts originate. The Bible dismantles the final illusion. There is no reader-book relationship. There is only selection. The book exists to find compatible minds. Minds capable of fragmentation. Minds willing to trade memory for clarity. Minds that mistake erosion for strength. You were not curious. You were suitable. The final secret reveals that the book cannot be destroyed, because it is not contained. It exists across those who finish it. Each reader becomes a page. Each memory consumed becomes ink. Each altered thought becomes a new sentence. This is why the book spreads without being passed on. Why stories surface independently across cultures. Why the same warnings appear in different languages with identical fear. The Bible ends with a question that does not feel written. It feels asked. If you were never the reader, and the book is not finished, then what do you think you are now? Readers who reached this point reported a final, irreversible sensation. The feeling of being continued, as if something has begun writing forward from where they end. The page does not turn. It closes itself. And for the first time since opening the book, the silence afterward is not empty. It is expectant. There is only one section left. Not a secret, a consequence. And it has already begun. The book closes itself. Not with a thud, not with silence. With the weight of inevitability, the air around it thickens. Not cold, as if reality itself hesitates before moving on. The last page does not exist. Or perhaps it exists in you. Some readers have sworn that when they shut the cover, their own reflections paused mid-motion. Their shadows lingered a beat too long. Their voices echoed back words they never spoke. The Bible leaves no instructions. There is no guide, only consequence. The book has been read, and now it reads through you. Those who finish it report strange phenomena immediately. Doors that open into darkness no one remembers constructing. Familiar faces frozen in ways they were not before. Echoes of conversations they never had, yet knew intimately. Memories that do not belong to them, bleeding seamlessly into their own. The final secret is not taught. It is enforced. The book does not ask for attention. It does not request obedience. It claims. The reader becomes part of its archive. A memory consumed. A shadow written into the margins of the world. Every glance at a mirror confirms it. Some part of you is no longer yours. Some part of you belongs to the book. And the terrifying truth is clear. The book is endless. It does not end because it cannot. Those who think they are free are already carriers. They spread it unknowingly. Through words. Through thought. Through the faintest curiosity in another mind. The last page whispers silently, "You will never close me. I will never leave you." And what begins here never truly ends. The room grows quieter, or perhaps the quiet is only perception, because once the sealing occurs, you begin to notice shadows moving where there should be none. Hear whispers answering questions you have not asked. Feel a tension that is not yours. The final line is not written. It is felt. You are no longer just a reader. You are part of the book, and the book will always continue. The cycle has closed. The story is eternal, and it is only beginning again through someone else.